Hey, what's up, good people? Just out here chilling, out here on the patio. Got my little man over there, just passing out, kicking it. But just want to do this quick little video of what I think is inspiring my black people, my black Americans, my indigenous, real indigenous natives. My theory on one of the things that's helping us understand our roots here over on this land, besides all the historical things that I've posted and hinted to. There's a lot that I don't share. I know I've said this all the time. That's why I appreciate people who hit me up and appreciate the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm sharing, and things like that. Just got off the phone, had a dope conversation with my brother Bernard. Thanks for hitting me up, bro. I know you're gonna see this video. But one of the things that I said when I was talking to him, I want to just lightly touch on DNA tests and understanding and researching your lineage. So I've had people, mainly African people, which y'all are still my people, y'all still my brothers and sisters, but there's a lot of things you guys get wrong because we've allowed other people to tell us things that aren't true. You know, I got my Puma, you know, that American cat. But so DNA tests, I mean, I could do a video on this, but I'll post this stuff so you can look at it yourself. Look at it on these DNA tests, what they say. They're for entertainment purposes. They're not accurate. The DNA tests are actually saying it's 23andMe's and Ancestry.com. I mentioned before that those things are real good if you want to find your lineage, but they cannot trace you back to any DNA location where you came from. One of the biggest things about that is because they're not allowed to test on they're not testing on dead people. They're not testing on the mummies that they found out here and all this stuff. So, but that's besides the main point. My main point is when you start looking at your lineage, and even my wife has done this, and she's white. You know, we think we know where white people came from and all this stuff, but we really don't. But I've started going into my actual lineage, talking to my family members, my older cousins, my second, third cousins, getting in contact with them, getting our family names, old family pictures and photos, and our family stories. For instance, I'll throw this little nugget out there for y'all just to throw a piece of my personal life out, is that my family on my mom's dad's side, so my grandpa, on his mom's side, so my great-grandmother, was a Burgess, or a Bogus. It's Burges, all those variations. Our variation of that clan is Bogges. Now that side of the family is the German side, and I'm not talking about, when I say German, you think of Nazis and the white people. I'm talking about the original indigenous Germans on that side. So my grandpa has the ship that we came from and everything, and I'm not talking about a slave ship. It was the ship that we migrated here on that side, on that side of the family, the Germans. I've made little hints towards that, but I haven't really touched on that. Not planning on touching on that too much, maybe somewhere in the future. But the point is, I've been following my lineage, and what my actual lineage shows, has been showing on both sides of my family, is that a lot of my family, my bloodline, my actual lineage, when I'm looking at names and building my family tree, we come from this land here, the Americas, and it's been wonderful to find out. It's been shocking, eye-opening, and so I just wanted to say that when we do our DNA test, I think a lot of us got inspired from the DNA test to actually find our lineage, because we weren't getting answers with the DNA test. So I think I've said this before. I keep forgetting to post my DNA results. Hopefully I remember to in this video. Maybe I'll try to put it in this video. But my DNA test that I'm like 46%, and it's constantly changing. It's funny. But my DNA test said that it's 46 or 48% Nigerian. As I showed you guys, I've been out to Nigeria. I've been with the people. I got, friends and people that I consider brothers out there in Nigeria, and sisters. I grew up around Nigerian people. One of my best friends was Nigerian. So I'm very familiar with Nigeria, especially being out there and being amongst, living out there and all that stuff. So I'm like, I'm not Nigerian. So why is my DNA test saying that I'm Nigerian, but my lineage doesn't say I'm Nigerian? And even Nigerian people will say that I'm not Nigerian, So there's a lot of things that can help you out in understanding who you are as a black, American. If you don't believe it, that's why I always challenge my people to look at your own lineage. Go back, go ask your family, go ask your aunties, your uncles, get names, start building your family tree. Because once you build that, then you start seeing your name on dolls rolls. You start seeing your name being reclassified. Some of the when you get back into like the 1700s, or actually the 1700s, you start seeing that the name changes. You start seeing that when you get back real far past 1830s, you start seeing that on the censuses of your family members that they were changing their ethnicities, to white, back to mulatto, some of y'all, and then later on African American. That's very important because my family, like I said, we're not mixed with anything white, but I might have a family member that I've seen this before, to where black people would be like, oh dang, I got white family, the Irish blood, or that German blood or whatever. But you got to look into that, because I was talking to my wife and telling her, like, white isn't a race or ethnicity. White is actually just a legal classification. And one of the best kept secrets about here in America is that when immigrants come over here from Africa or Mexico, the top melanated immigrants, when they come over here, when they get citizenship, they change their citizenship on the census to say white, because white is a privilege over here. It's not just something that we just cry about and say, oh, there's white privilege and all this stuff. It's actually in law. It's in play. So the inspiration of why so many black Americans are finding out our indigenous roots, our native roots, is because of DNA tests and us not being satisfied with what we found on the test. Besides all the other differences that we have, different between us and our cousins over on in Africa. So everything that I'm posting is not to bash anybody else's culture, but we've been lied to so much that I have to come as hard as I do. I have to say what I say. I have to do these shock value things, because to kind of break us out of the spell, to do my part in breaking us out of the spell of African and African American and things like that, or believing that that's our motherland when our indigenous roots are over here. And it's very easy. The information is out now. It's very easy to find. It's very easy to research. You just gotta want to. You gotta want to. You can't be afraid to admit you were wrong, to admit that you were believing a lie or even preaching a lie, like I was doing. When I was in Christianity, I was preaching Christianity till I found out that it wasn't true, and I went against what I was preaching. So over the past 4 or 5 years, I've changed a lot in my ideology and everything, because I keep finding things out. I keep going. I keep pushing towards finding out the truth. So I just want to say that, if you're gonna go off your DNA, don't go off of that is your ancestry, because it's not. You go off your lineage. You find out, okay, let me ask my great-grandparents, let me ask my grandparents how it was growing up in America. What they know about slavery. Were we slaves? You can't be afraid to ask those questions. So yeah, so I just wanted to do that quick little video, just this quick little video to kind of give you guys a parameter and inspire some more my people to look into the lineage, not go off of what the DNA test tells you, but use the DNA test to your advantage. I try to go into the DNA test and look at all the tribes out there in Africa and everything, and nothing was lining up with what I was being told with my grandparents, my older cousins, my aunties, you know. So even with the looks and appearances, but yeah, so that's what DNA tests are. They're for entertainment purposes, but they will help you find your lineage. You know, I found cousins on there and things, and you know, who have information about family names, and I've been able to build up my family tree. So that's why I'm extremely confident where I'm at now. That's why I've never been so confident in my life and who I am, who my people are out here in America, and repping who I am, with no fear, no shame. And you know, I haven't been afraid to share information that I get in pieces to kind of inspire and have you guys look into it. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. So that's the thing about DNA tests. You know, somebody be like, well, what's your DNA test say, nigga? What does your DNA test say, brother? You know, like, it's not about what my DNA test says, because for one, we don't all come from the same place. Not everybody comes from Africa. And you know, the science is out there, the articles are out there. I got all the evidence, you know, I got it all. So but yeah, but just look into your lineage. Don't be afraid to ask questions to your family, and you might be surprised and you might be shocked, and it'll start a whole new journey for you that'll inspire you to make things make sense for you in your life and that. So with that, I'm gonna say peace out, and I'll holler at y'all.
There was a boy, a very strange enchanted boy. They say he wandered very far, over land and sea.
Now come on. The average Native American was this brother's complexion at the turn of the century. Now when you say Native American, it's some white person with a feather in his hair. So how in within blue eyes? So how in 1 year, how in 100 years you can become to be a white person with a feather in his hair, and the average Native American was your color? And all you gotta do is just look at all the pictures from the turn of the century. We're talking about the 1900s.